This is the EKXBIKE X21 Max electric motorcycle. Looking at it, the first thing you'll notice is the aggressive off-road look with its chunky 19-inch wheels and full suspension frame. It doesn't just look tough, it actually feels solid and ready for trails, city streets, or wherever you want to take it. The design just screams performance, and honestly, from my experience, it instantly stands out compared to a lot of electric bikes I've seen before. I'll be honest, when I got this e-bike, I was both excited and a bit skeptical. I've tried other electric motorcycles and mountain e-bikes, but it's not always easy to find a balance between power, range, comfort, and actual fun. Sometimes you sacrifice power for distance, or you get a bike that feels like a toy on rough terrain. But with the X21 Max, my first impression was, okay, this thing looks serious. The matte black color and those big tires give it a modern, adventurous vibe. Let's go over some key features that really caught my attention, and I'll share how they affected my riding experience. Underneath the frame, there's a 60V 30Ah removable Samsung battery, paired with a 3,000-watt motor, peaking at an eye-watering 6,000 watts, according to the specs. If you're new to these numbers, here's what it means. You get loads of torque, 113 Nm to be exact, which is plenty to conquer steep hills or get moving quickly from a stop. Torque, by the way, is that punchy feeling when you twist the throttle and immediately feel the power pushing you forward. The battery is removable, which is super convenient for me, especially living in an apartment. I don't have to carry the whole bike upstairs, just the battery. Charging from empty to full, it usually takes me a whole night, about 8 to 10 hours. I haven't pushed the range to the absolute limit, but on mostly flat city roads and a bit of off-road, I got somewhere between 50 to 60 miles on a single charge. Of course, factors like rider weight, I'm close to 100 kilograms, how fast you're riding, and any hills along the way will change that. But it feels reliable enough for both commutes and weekend rides. One thing that surprised me is how quick this bike feels. The top listed speed is 45 miles per hour, about 72 kilometers per hour, and honestly, it gets up there fast. I switched between eco mode and sport mode. Eco mode tops out around 34 miles per hour, or 55 kilometers per hour, which is perfect if you want to save energy and just cruise. Sport mode unlocks all the power, and the acceleration is way more than I expected for an e-bike. It actually feels quicker off the line than my previous Sur-Ron or Talaria. Maybe because the X21 Max is lighter, and the direct drive motor responds instantly. The only noise is the slight hum of the tires, no extra whining from the motor, so the ride feels smooth and quiet. Let's talk about brakes and suspension for a second. Good brakes are essential, especially at these speeds. The X21 Max uses dual hydraulic oil brakes, front and rear, which means you get solid, smooth stopping power even if you have to brake suddenly. The wide ventilated rotors never felt like they were overheating or fading, even on some long downhill rides. For the suspension, you've got 120mm of shock travel, both front and back. I rode over some rough gravel and potholes, and honestly, it did a great job soaking up bumps. You can adjust the fork a bit to fit your style, but out of the box, it's comfortable enough for street and light trail use. About the gears, there are 7 speeds, controlled by a basic twist shifter. But here's the thing. On an e-bike this powerful, I rarely used the physical gears. The motor does most of the work. Pedaling up steep hills is still possible, but sometimes the bike feels heavy if you try to pedal without motor assistance. No pedal assist here, which means when you're out of battery, it's a tough workout getting home. Some people put pegs instead of pedals for pure electric motorcycle use, but I kept the pedals to stay street legal as an e-bike in my area. Comfort-wise, the seat is a faux leather moped-style seat. I noticed it feels a lot better than those thin, hard bicycle seats, especially on longer rides. The riding position is upright, with wide bars that give you plenty of control. The weight is around 80 pounds, about 36 kilograms, so you really feel it when pushing the bike around, but it's manageable compared to heavier electric motorcycles. Visibility is important to me, especially if you ride at night. This bike gets a bright LED headlight and a tail light with brake light function. At night, the lights are excellent for both seeing and being seen by cars. The included fenders help cut down on mud and water spraying when you're off-road or caught in the rain, though you might have to install the front fender yourself. Speaking of controls, everything is within easy reach. Horn, lights, Eco Sport button, and a safety parking button. What's unique is the security system. To activate the bike, Use a key to unlock the battery and an NFC tag to turn the motor on. The LCD display is simple but useful, showing speed, battery level, distance, and a few other essentials. For someone new to e-bikes, this isn't overwhelming at all. There's even a voltage indicator, so you can keep an eye on battery health. One question I get is, does the XBike X21 Max actually climb hills? From my experience, absolutely. I rode up a pretty steep driveway, around 30 to 35 degrees, without it breaking a sweat. There was no motor overheating warning, and acceleration stayed strong. Even after back-to-back climbs, the motor stayed cool. For off-road fans, the 19-inch off-road tires grip well on loose gravel and dirt. On pavement, I swapped to a more road-friendly tire, since the original off-road tires can feel twitchy at higher speeds and aren't great for cornering on asphalt. If you plan to stick to city streets, I'd recommend doing the same.